Hey, real quick, before we dive into today's episode, if you've been feeling like your brand needs a little love, but you're not quite sure where to start, I have just the tool you need. The Standout Brand Audit Bot is an AI-powered guided audit that shows you exactly what's working, what's not, and how to strengthen your brand using my proven Standout brand system. In 10 minutes or less, you'll walk away with clear next steps to move your brand forward with purpose. It's completely free. Just head to the show notes to grab the link and get started. If your brand and your marketing feels scattered and disjointed, or if you've ever hired any marketing help in your business but nothing has really stuck, or if you feel like you're constantly tweaking things and never gaining momentum, you need to listen to this episode. Most brand problems don't come from lack of effort or lack of investment or lack of trying, really. They come from either building things in the wrong order or having the right people working in and on your business, but without a shared strategy or blueprint. Today, I'm breaking down what a brand ecosystem actually looks like step by step and sharing with you the exact order that it should be built in so that you can build a cohesive brand experience that makes it easy for the right clients to find you, easy to hire help in your business, and easy to communicate your message. Welcome to the Six Figure Brand Podcast, where each week we're pulling back the curtain on what it really takes to build a six-figure business as an online service provider. I'm your host, Morgan. I'm a branding expert, online agency owner, mom of two, and military spouse, and I'm obsessed with helping entrepreneurs like you understand the ins and outs of branding so that you can use it to grow your business without sacrificing your sanity. Whether you're just starting out or focused on scaling, we're diving into everything you need to build a profitable and sustainable online business. Let's get to it. You know, there's a ton of moving parts and pieces when it comes to your brand, and a lot of them are ever evolving. But the order in which you build and create those things matters a lot. And I think that's something that we don't pay as much attention to as we should. Most business owners have pieces of a brand. They have a logo and a website and some social content and some photos, but they are still saying things like, my brand feels like it's been Frankensteined together, or nothing really fits, or it feels kind of amateur. And the reason is because those pieces were not built together or intentionally. So this creates what I like to call brand breakage. Brand breakage happens when you hire multiple contractors in your business to do things like design your logo, create your website, create social content for you, take your brand photos, and they're not working out of the same rule book or the same strategy document. So you have one person doing your SEO, one person doing your design, one person writing for you, and everything is done in a silo. And so none of these people actually talk to each other. They could all be excellent service providers that get killer results for their clients. But if they're not talking to each other, then they're just going to be off in their corners doing their own thing and not building something that is pointed in the right direction. It would be kind of like if you had a team of 5 people who were supposed to build a car, and one person's building the wheels, and one person's building the engine, and one person's building the seats, and one person's building the body panels of the car. You all know that you're building a car, but what car? If they're not working from the same blueprint, then all of those parts and pieces, while they might be the best of the best, are not going to fit together to accomplish a goal. Similarly, a brand ecosystem only works when each of the pieces are built in order, on purpose, and to work together. So what's that order? Let's walk through it. Step 1, of course, is going to be brand strategy. The point of your brand strategy is to clearly define why your business is here, what your goals are, who your audience is, and what direction you're going in. This is the blueprint or the rule book that all of those other service providers are going to work out of. Brand strategy is the foundation. It should answer questions like who you serve, what you do, why it matters, what you want to be known for, where your business is headed. And it's super important because it becomes the thread that ties everyone working in your business together, from your designer to your copywriter to your SEO person, your photographer, your social media manager, and on and on and on. Without it, everyone is just guessing and probably doing their best work. But if their best work is not all pointed in the same direction, all intended to accomplish the same goal, then you have everyone's best work pulling you in a different direction. So once you have your strategy nailed down, then I would say next, you should probably invest in SEO and copy. Sometimes this is 2 different contractors, sometimes it's one. But the goal of SEO is to help people find you, and the goal of copy is to help people understand you. So you can see how those kind of go hand in hand. SEO is about search intent. It's about using language that your audience uses. It's about being visible in places that people are already actively looking for help. And your brand strategy informs what keywords to use, who that audience is that you're trying to speak to, which pages you need to focus on your website, and how you're positioned in those search results. Trying to do SEO without strategy leads to things like lots of website traffic, but that doesn't convert, a website that's difficult to navigate, which makes it hard for Google to crawl, misaligned keywords, and potentially investing lots of money on things like paid ads that are not getting you the right type of clients because you haven't done that research. Now, copy's job is to communicate your values and your offers and to sell them to your audience. So SEO brings you the audience, copy converts them. Copy translates your brand strategy into clear messaging, strong positioning, and confidently framing your offers, which then becomes the foundation for your design. So I've said this before, I've had lots of copywriters on the show, and I mean it wholeheartedly. Copy needs to come before design. Not necessarily before brand design, but 1000% before website design. If you can't clearly communicate what you do on your website, it doesn't matter how pretty it is. The best design in the world is not going to save you. So now you can see how we're layering in. We first got brand strategy. Now we have SEO and copy. Now it's time to work on design. Logistically, you might be working on brand design at the same time that SEO and or copy is happening in the background or with a different contractor. Brand design can be done immediately after brand strategy if you so choose. Website design needs to be done after SEO and copy. So let's talk about brand design, my favorite topic. Brand design is what brings your brand personality to life visually. It is how you express your brand's personality, positioning, values, and its job is to build trust quickly, create brand recognition and visual consistency, and really draw in those ideal clients using things like color psychology, for example. Why the order in which you do these things matters here is because when design follows strategy, your clients can tell because it feels more aligned, you come across more confidently, it feels timeless and not trendy because it's personalized to you and not what everyone else is doing. And as an online business owner, design is super, super, super important because it's really all you have. Your brand design is your first impression that you make on people. You don't have a brick and mortar store where people come in or billboards on the side of the freeway. You have your brand design, which shows up pretty much on your social media and on your website. So you need to make a really intentional impact with that. And using strategy to inform your brand design is the way that you do that. Next up, we've got photography. Now, this is a super important one. First and foremost, because I strongly believe that good brand photography is one of the best ways to really bring your brand to life and build trust online. It's super, super important. And my clients who do invest in brand photography are 99% of the time more successful more quickly than the ones who don't. Second, this is important because brand photography has to come after brand design. I just went on a rant about this on Threads like a few weeks ago. Somebody asked, well, why can't I get my photo shoot done before my brand designer is finished with our project? And my answer was because of colors and vibes. So your photos are one of the best ways to visually reinforce that trust and authority and brand personality. If you book a brand photo shoot without having your brand design done first, it makes it really hard for the photographer to know how your photo should look. How should you dress? What colors should you use? What is the overall vibe of your brand? Without that, you really run a big risk of investing several $1,000s in a photo shoot, and then you hand them over to your brand and website designer and they say, well, these don't work at all for the website we designed because, for example, your brand colors are blue and green and brown, but you're wearing black and red in your photos and they just clash so much that it's going to look terrible on your website. Investing in a brand photo shoot is a big deal, both emotionally. I know a lot of us don't love getting our photo taken and it's kind of a whole thing, but also financially. Photos are expensive. So I would really, really encourage you to not jump the gun on this and wait and take the time to have your brand design first before you invest in brand photography because it's really going to make it so, so, so much more impactful. This is how you get photos that fit seamlessly on your site, that really feel like a good representation of you and that you actually want to use. Nothing is worse than paying for a brand photo shoot and then getting all your photos back and hating them and not wanting to use them. So now you've got brand strategy, SEO, copy, brand design, and website design. Next is going to be social media. Now you can pay for somebody to help you with social media or not. I don't really have a lot of skin in the game when it comes to that. But the job of social media is to increase visibility and build brand recognition. Now, how do we do that? By having a clear core message, which comes from our strategy and our copy, by having recognizable visuals, which comes from our brand design and our photography, and by targeting our audience using keywords, which comes from SEO. So you can see how everything we've done already kind of culminates in, okay, now I'm ready to really get strategic with my social media. I always preface these kind of conversations with, I am not a social media expert. I'm a branding expert. I have had a couple of social media experts on the show. You can go back and listen to their episodes if you want some really social media strategy heavy content. But social media works best when you have a clear strategy, your messaging is consistent, your visuals are cohesive and also consistent, and your photos are super unique to you. There's a lot of personality in them. People burn out on social media and say, oh my gosh, I can't get off the social media hamster wheel, or social media doesn't work for me, because they're kind of hodgepodging things together and just trying a bunch of stuff and jumping on all these trends. And they have not done the foundational strategy work that we're talking about here to know who they're talking to, what to say, how it should look, and how to say it. When you approach social media as its job is to reinforce your brand, not invent one, I think it gets a lot easier. And you need to have all those parts and pieces in place before you really put a lot of effort into social media in order for that to happen. So to recap, before we get into our next section, a complete brand ecosystem includes your brand strategy, SEO, copy, brand design, website design, brand photography, and social media. Now, there are other things that go into this that are really important, namely client experience. However, client experience is something that you kind of create organically as the business owner. It's not something that you're going to necessarily invest in or like hire somebody to help you with. You might when you get to a certain level in business. But for the purpose of this episode, I'm kind of leaving that off. I just want to be really clear that client experience is one of the most important parts of your brand ecosystem. It just doesn't really fall into what we're trying to talk about here today. So now we have a good picture of what a complete brand ecosystem looks like. What happens when we don't do things in that order, or we miss or skip pieces, or what have you? I call this hiring in silos. What usually happens is you hire an SEO specialist or a designer or a photographer or a social media manager, whatever shiny object you see that you think is going to solve all your problems. And you fill out their questionnaire and they go to work and they do their thing. And I'm sure that they are really great at what they do. But when they're each doing their work individually and not working as part of a more collaborative team and all pointed in the same direction, aka working out of the same strategy rulebook, then things start to fall apart. Since they don't have a shared strategy and they're not communicating with each other, everyone's trying to solve a different problem in a different way without any regard for what anyone else is doing. And then you end up with things like confusing messaging in your business, visual inconsistency between platforms. So your social media manager might be using your same colors and fonts and stuff, but they're doing it in a totally different style than what your website designer is. And frankly, you end up wasting a lot of money because you walk away from all these experience thinking this still doesn't feel right or it's still not working for me. And it gets really easy to just blame the service provider. But the problem isn't the people that you hire, it's the fact that there's no connection between them. So what do we do about that? The short answer is do a brand strategy first, share that strategy with everyone that you hire, and have them at least working out of the same playbook. But the even better answer is to hire Spect & Co. for an ultimate brand experience. I just talked you through about 6 different people that you're going to need to hire in your business in order to build you a professional and really intentional brand ecosystem. And I'm going to be real with you, that is a lot to coordinate. It's a lot to manage. Think about if you interview 2 or 3 people for each of those roles, that's like 20 interviews, and then you're coordinating with each of them and making sure that they're all coordinating with each other. And it's just a lot on top of already running your business and managing your team and working with your clients and stuff. That's where the ultimate brand experience comes in. The ultimate brand experience is a 6-month done-for-you project that's designed to build this entire ecosystem in the correct order with all of your people talking to each other, pointed in the same direction. It's very high touch, hands-on, with me as your guide and as your project coordinator, strategically building your entire brand ecosystem with a ton of intentionality and care and foundation of strategy. So here's how this works. We start like every Project Expected Co starts with a deep brand strategy session, the standout brand strategy session. At the end of that, we have your standout brand strategy guide, which becomes the central playbook for your entire project. Every single decision that we make moving forward is made through the lens of your brand strategy. From there, I have trusted contractors that I bring in for SEO. Copy is an optional add-on. You get a really, really killer copy template as part of the package if you want done for you copy. then that's something we can talk about. Me and my team will do your brand design and your website design. I help you plan your brand photo shoot. We bring in our vetted and trusted partners to do some social media strategy for you, all guided by the brand strategy that we have created. So you can see this follows the exact same process and order that we've talked about. First, we start with strategy, then we do SEO and copy, brand design, website design, photography, social media. Every single piece of this is connected. It's built with each other piece in mind so that we're able to create something really comprehensive, really cohesive, really customized to you, and none of your contractors are working in a silo. The benefit to you here is that you're not managing a team, for one, but also you're not managing a team of 85,000 contractors. You get to use the ones that I have already vetted that have done work for me and my clients and knocked it out of the park every single time, and that they're also not working in a silo. Me and my team are communicating to keep everyone on the same page so we're all pointed in the right direction, and the work that everyone is doing is in support of the work that everyone else is doing. So I take care of pulling in the right specialists, coordinating the timelines, making sure everyone's working out of the same playbook and acting as your creative director and strategist for your entire brand ecosystem. You're not running into issues of conflicting opinions from service providers, difficulty scheduling, duplicated work where you have your brand strategist doing messaging strategy, but you have your copywriter also doing messaging strategy. And why are you paying two people to do the same thing when you really only needed one? No telephone game between service providers. No having to explain your brand over and over and over and over again to each person that you hire. Rather than hiring 5 or 6 separate contractors, you're getting one cohesive group of contractors who are all working on the same team, your team. So that's a 6-month process, but support does not end at the end of 6 months. You get to stay in the 6-Figure Brand Society for 12 months, so 6 months beyond when your project ends. And this is where we really get to work hand in hand with you to refine, adjust, answer questions that come up as you start actually using your brand and supporting that ongoing implementation. I've talked about this before, but one of my big pet peeves in the design industry is when I hear from a client or another service provider, well, this person designed my brand and they just gave me a style guide and kind of sent me on my way. And I haven't implemented a lot of my new branding because I don't know how to use it. I know what my colors and my fonts are, but I don't really understand how to put them together. The 6-Figure Brand Society is for that. You get a couple hours a month of done-for-you design support. You get a lot of access to me and my team to answer questions and help you build upon things. And at the end of that 12 months, you will be so confident in using your brand, it's ridiculous. This is also important because branding is not something that you finish. It's ever evolving. So likely a year from the completion of your branding project, there are going to be some small little tweaks that you want to make or things that you want to use in a different way than we had intended. And that's totally fine and normal. That's why you get that continued support so that you have someone to support you in doing that. So you can ask me, hey, Morgan, am I doing this right? Am I doing this right? Or what do you think about this? Or I have this crazy idea and I'm here for all of it. So this model of super high touch brand ecosystem building coupled with the ongoing support in the 6-Figure Brand Society is really awesome because first and foremost, it removes decision fatigue. Your input and your time investment really comes on the front end with that brand strategy session. But after that, you're just reviewing things and giving feedback. I'm the one driving the ship, moving things forward, making sure things are getting done, making a lot of those decisions for you. And it also prevents that brand breakage that we talked about where everyone's working in a silo and pulling you in different directions and kind of forcing you to continue spinning your wheels and never getting traction. It allows you to focus on running your business instead of managing 5 or 6 different contractors and creative and logistics and timelines and things that you just are really not an expert in. And it gives your brand the space and room to grow and evolve without completely unraveling. The ultimate brand experience is not about doing more. I know it can feel like, oh, there's so many things in this package and it's just a lot to do. It's about doing them in the right way, in the right order, and with the right people. As you can tell, this is a super, super high touch way to work with Spect & Co. And as such, we only take on 4 of these projects every year. So when the 4 spots for 2026 are gone, they're gone. I also want to formally announce a really special bonus that I'm doing for this package because I just believe in it so much. I mentioned earlier that brand photography is one of the best ways to really bring your personality to life in your brand and elevate your brand visuals. And for our first 2 clients who book an ultimate brand experience in 2026, you are getting a full free photo shoot. Now, I said earlier, I help you plan your brand photo shoot as part of this package, and I do. But if you are one of the first 2 people to book an Ultimate Brand Experience in 2026, you will get a custom brand photo shoot done with the one and only Workplay Branding. If you're not following them, you should be. They are the best in the business. They will fly a photographer out to wherever you are, or you can take a trip somewhere you'd like to go. I will be in on the planning process, and you are going to get photos that will blow your mind. So more details about that will be in the show notes. I'm going to be posting about this a lot on social media in the coming months. But as podcast listeners, you are the first to know about this really exciting bonus. And I think these spots are going to go pretty quickly. So if you are at all curious about this, book a brand chat with me. The link's going to be in the show notes. We can just chat about whether or not this is a good fit for you, what some of these things might look like in your specific case, and how we can move forward. The investment for the Ultimate Brand Experience is 12 payments of $16.97. There is also a pay in full discount, so we could talk about that on our brand chat if you so choose. And like I said, there are 4 spots available for 2026. The first 2 that book get that free, done for you, insane, amazing photo shoot experience, which is going to do so much to really elevate your brand and help you feel confident putting yourself out there, which is so, so, so important. And if you are not ready to hire for some of this stuff, or you want to do it yourself, that's totally cool too. I am here to support you. I'm here to cheer you on from the sidelines. Now you know what order to build your brand ecosystem in so that it makes the most sense, it's the most impactful, and you can stop going back and having to redo things because they don't make sense to each other. If your brand feels messy, disjointed, like you've outgrown it, it's been duct taped together, you're tired of tinkering with things, nothing makes sense together, it's probably just that all your parts and pieces are disconnected, and that is something that we can fix. Book a brand chat using the link in the show notes if you want to chat more about what the Ultimate Brand Experience could look like for you, and feel free to DM me any questions that you have about your brand ecosystem. I say this every episode, but I really love hearing from you guys, and these are the conversations that I want to have in the DMs. So to close this out, I just want to remind you that strong brands are not built all at once, but they are built intentionally with one connected layer at a time. Thanks for tuning in to the 6-Figure Brand Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to rate the show and leave a review on whatever app you're listening on. And as a thank you, I'll send you coffee on me. Yes, I'm serious. As a smaller show for now, you taking the time to do this makes a huge impact on how we can reach more people and how I can continue to create this content for free. When you take a screenshot of your review, follow and tag me on Instagram at @SpectandCo. I'll send you a $5 Starbucks gift card. As always, don't forget to check out the show notes for any links or resources I mentioned during the episode. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you next week.